This is the BULLS fully carbon E-Stream EVO 3 27.5 plus. Plus refers to the fatter tires right here. These are 27.5 by 2.8. I've seen 3-inch, and I actually like this 2.8. It's nice, you know, you still reduce the deflection, increase the surface contact, improve the comfort a little bit. That, along with this really nice suspension fork up here. This is one of the higher end ones from SR Suntour. It's got remote lockout, it's an air fork, 120 millimeters of travel, and we've got a 15 millimeter through axle. And down here you can also see the nice Magura disc brakes, MT5s in the front with 4 piston, and we've got MT4s in the back with 2 piston, 180 millimeters, lots of stopping power, just really great for cross country. This bike is super light in terms of electric bikes, right? As far as they go, weighs about 46.5 pounds. Most of the time I'm seeing like close to 50. So you're shaving 4 pounds, and it's noticeable. Like lifting this thing up, part of it is because it's so balanced. Like the battery's really low, the battery's low, the motor is also really low. But you still get a whole lot of capacity. So this is a 37 volt, 17.5 amp hour pack, BMZ lithium ion batteries, and of course the Brose motor system down here. This is the 20 mile per hour version. This is an E25, and that stands for 25 kilometers per hour in Europe, but they like upclock the speed for the United States. So 20 miles per hour is still really solid. You can ride faster than that. It's not going to slow you down or anything. And riding is actually really pleasant on this because you've got 22 speeds. You can see trigger shifters on the left and the right. Really nice Dior XT derailleurs, front and rear shadow. Great range of sprockets to choose from. And it's just nice. Like, it's tucked in there. The motor isn't bulging out too much. The motor itself is just so compact and nice looking. That's one of the big pluses for me with the Brose motor system. It's relatively quiet, and it's geared. So, you know, you kind of have to do that. The motor with magnets inside is a lot smaller. It spins at a higher RPM, and then they down step that to give you the torque and climbing power. It does offer 90 Newton meters of torque, which is at the highest end from a lot of electric bikes I've seen compared to like Bosch or Yamaha or Impulse. It's right in there. One thing it does not offer, however, is shift sensing. So coming back to all those gears, you just have to be like a decent rider and remember, oh, if I'm going to shift gears, I need to ease up a little bit on my pedaling, because otherwise I'm going to have some mashing. I might bang the chain around and start to strip some of my sprockets in the rear. You don't want to have that happen. It can happen even if it's just you pedaling and climbing, and you're climbing a hill and you're shifting and just kunk, kunk, kunk. Well, imagine that, but with 90 Newton meters of motor force behind you too. So the great thing about the motor design on this bike and on all of the Brose motors is that it's torque and cadence sensing. So there are two things that result in this design. One is that if you're just standing there, if you're just like kind of track standing and pushing, maybe you've got the brakes pulled or something, you're waiting to jump off the line, it's not going to go. Even though there's torque, there's no cadence. And then the flip side is when there's cadence happening, you don't have to wait that long. It's not like a whole pedal stroke as you would have with just a simple cadence sensor. This one picks up a lot faster. It says torque, okay, we're sensing movement, and then it kicks in, and it's proportional to how much power you're putting in yourself. So this motor is used on a lot of the BULLS bikes now. The Specialized Turbo Levo uses it. Some Easy Motion bikes are going to have it. It's a great system. I think a lot of people are adopting it just because it looks so great. I mean, this is the kind of bike that it's quiet, it blends in, and you're not going to maybe attract unwanted attention from people who have nothing better to do, I guess, than be like, that's electric. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go a lot further than I would be able to. Maybe have a knee injury like me. It's a great bike. I really like comfort personally, so the suspension helps, and then the vibration dampening qualities of carbon, just more of an organic material, and the bigger tires. Like, it does it for me. You can, of course, upgrade the seat post if you want to get a Thudbuster or a Body Float, or Suntour has their NCX suspension seat post. This is 30.9 millimeters in diameter. The bike does come in 2 sizes. I'm looking at the smaller one. It's 46 centimeters. It's nice that they do that so you can, you know, dial in the fit. And you can actually fit 2 bottle cages on this. There's one right here on the seat tube, and then we've got another one over here. If you take out these screws, you can actually put a bottle cage there. So that's phenomenal. Like, I know of very, very few electric mountain bikes that have 1 bottle cage. I mean, it's definitely the purpose-built stuff that does that. And this bike is relatively affordable. I mean, we're talking $45.99. So, you know, $4,600, that's incredible for a carbon fiber electric bike, at least to me. Now, one of the trade-offs with this bike is that it's not full suspension, of course, and you don't have bosses for adding a rear rack. I would love to turn this into like an urban commuter type of bike and just be able to take the trails and go on the weekends and just have one bike, one lightweight, high quality, awesome bike. And adding a rack is something that I'm always thinking about because my back and neck get a little beat up when you're wearing a backpack and you're forward like that. You're more aggressive. I wish they had that. I mean, they got the bottle cage bosses. You can always add, like Topeak has the beam racks and stuff, but they get kicked side to side. It's a bit of a bother. Down here, we've got the charging port cover. This thing is really hard to get down there. I had to spend a bunch of time just stuffing it in. I don't quite, you know, it's like, come on guys, it's just a piece of rubber that should stay in there. But it flops up like this. And we've got the charging port. So the battery cells are BMZ, and so is the charger. It's 2.5 pounds, a little bit bulkier, kind of metal box. It feels solid, but it's 5 amps. So it charges a little bit faster, and it uses the energy bus charging port right there, which is magnetic. So if you trip over the cable, it just pops out. It doesn't pull the whole thing down or bend any pins. I love that. I just wish this closed a little bit better. And then you can see right here the keyhole for unlocking the battery. It is removable. Even though it's so integrated and beautiful looking, it comes out. And there's also a nice little kind of a foam mat thing right there. Hopefully you can see it, that protects your down tube from rock chips. There's not a lot of protection right here though. And you know, sometimes I put like clear tape and stuff, just like some packing tape, just to keep from getting nicks, especially on a carbon frame. And this whole thing is carbon, like all over the place. It's really quite beautiful. By the way, 12mm through axle in the rear for added stiffness, and boost technology. So you get 6mm of additional width on the hub in the back, 10mm of additional width on the front. Stix hub, I think that's a BULLS brand, along with the stem and everything here, aluminum. So, you know, you could still lighten it by some of these other, maybe some carbon cranks and stuff. And the pedals sort of suck in my opinion. Welgo C1 280. When you're riding, like, I mean, I don't have huge feet and they just start to fall off the pedals, and these outer part of the cage can get bent if it lays down. There's no kickstand on this thing. Just keep some of those general points in mind. But getting back to boost, the wider hub means that the spokes can be kind of wider, and that gives you a little bit more strength. And adding to that are 14 gauge spokes in the front, 13 in the rear, so you get a little bit of added thickness here for strength for pedaling and stuff. Okay, so coming back to the locking point I was trying to make earlier, getting a little bit excited. You see how close this is to the crank arm? Like when the crank arm turns, it breaks the key off if you leave it in there. And unlocking it isn't super easy. It's like you put it in, turn it, then you take this open close lever, you pull it across, the battery plunks out, you try not to drop it, and you're set. You can charge it, you can reduce the weight of the bike by 7 pounds. So if you're hauling this with like on the back of your car, a lot of times e-bikes weigh so much and you have to have a fancier, bigger rack. In this case, you know, you take 7 pounds off there, you take the wheels off, and you're set. You could easily hang this. But getting it back on, that's the trick. It's like, okay, you wedge the battery up, click it in, lock it down, turn the key, and then pull it out. The challenge is it's easy to forget the keys in there, and it's easy to forget to lock it. And because you don't need to, you can always pull that lever and take it on and off without locking it. It's just you don't want to lose your battery or have some issue. And so I'm always like trying to remind myself, like, is it locked? Okay, is it? Okay, good. It's more steps. I guess I shouldn't complain too much because, I mean, look how beautiful it is. It's integrated. This is a strong enough frame to, you know, for carbon to have the cutaway with the battery pack. It's awesome. I don't know, take what you will from this. The grips are kind of like okay. I wish they were locking, but the ergonomic is all right. And there's the locker for that front suspension post. We've got rebound adjust down at the bottom on the right. There we go. It's kind of a neat one. It's got like the side thing. Okay, so the steps to turn this thing on, besides charging it, are first you kind of have to press power right here on the battery pack for some reason. It doesn't always require it, like if you've used the bike really recently, but step one, then you come up here and press the power button on the display pad. And this one has been a little bit finicky today. There we go. Okay. I don't know what was going on, but I had to press it again. We've got a light button on the side, but this bike doesn't have lights integrated. A walk mode, so as long as you're in like 1, 2, or 3, walk mode works, and that's kind of nice because, you know, if you're carrying something, walking with a friend, you don't have to push the bike like up a hill. You can just, it'll move itself, but at a relatively low speed. And down here, we've got a 6-volt micro USB port, so if you're someone who likes to use Strava or GPS or music player, whatever, you can mount that to your handlebars, and you could kind of power it off of that enormous battery pack right there. So it's just really cool, nice touches, and at the same time, it's not overwhelming. Like, you look at these handlebars, they look like a mountain bike from the side and everything. It blends in. This is really stealthy electric bike, and the motor is so quiet too. It's got those 3 levels of assist, speed in miles per hour, and then a battery indicator with like 5 bars. So each bar is a 20% increment. It'd be nicer if this was a percentage, but you know, they had to cram a lot in here, and that's a transflective display. So whether it's sunny or darker, you can kind of see this, and it's easy to use, relatively easy to reach while you're riding without taking your hand too far off the grip. There's not a whole lot of adjustment, again, because it's torque sensing. You kind of just set it, and then you get more or less power, more or less range. Okay, well, I'm gonna hop on this thing and ride around, try to give you some perspective, what the motor sounds like. I'm just in like an industrial park type thing in Los Angeles. This is unfortunately not the beautiful mountain trails that I'd hoped for. And there's these loud, stinking trucks everywhere. But let's go for this anyway. Take it all the way up to level 3 assist. Just makes the motor noise more pronounced. I find that at higher RPMs, the motor noise increases, but at low RPM, it's really not too bad. You can see it stops relatively quickly when I stop pedaling. Again, that's the torque sensing. It's not quite as fast as Bosch. Bosch has like that super tiny little sprocket that's like ring, ring, but it's almost, sometimes it's like, okay, ease it up. You know, you want something that's a little bit more fluid at times. This has the responsiveness you need for riding on, you know, mountain bike trails and cliffs and stuff, but at the same time, you don't have the overflow of power. Sorry, there's a couple jokers in a car over there smoking up and making some funny noises. So anyway, let's do this again. I'm in a lower gear. It's gonna spin a lot faster. See if you can hear it. Actually really quiet, and I think that's partially because this is a brand new bike. You know, the Brose system works really well, but I've noticed that demo bikes, ones that are really been pushed and stuff, you start to hear it a little bit more. It is geared, but there's kind of a belt in there that's supposed to take the edge off a little bit, some of the noise and even some of the vibration on your joints while you're pedaling. Start to hear the motor a little bit more here. Putting it to work. Well, guys, it's been an interesting review. I really love this bike, and again, the price is just phenomenal. It's cool to see carbon fiber entering the space. Even though you don't shave off that much weight, they need to reinforce it and make it strong. I just love the way this bike looks, and as far as hardtails go, yeah, with electric drive systems, it's pretty awesome. For the full write-up on this, the E-Stream EVO 3 27.5 Plus, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com. Of course, chime in with your feedback and stuff, and ride safe.